It's time for Rabbi Minkowicz's Weekly Torah Lesson, a place where life's most difficult questions are answered. Here with his spiritual perspective and insight, Rabbi Minkowicz.
Welcome to this week's Torah lesson. This week's Torah portion is Parsha TISA. The question of the week is, should one do a mitzvah if you're not inspired? So in this week's Torah portion, Parsha TISA, we learn about the mitzvah of the census where the Jewish people were counted, and the way they were counted was a unique way where every single Jew gave a half a shekel. And they would count the half a shekels, and then they knew how many Jews there were, and that's one of the reasons why we don't count people. We count something else instead, not to cause a plague, etc. So when they gave the machzis hashekel, so God told Moshe Rabbeinu, Zeh yitnu, this is what they should give. So the commentaries ask, what do you mean? Why does God have to show Zeh yitnu, this is what you should give? So the commentaries explain that Moshe Rabbeinu was wondering, here God is saying they're giving a half shekel to redeem their soul. So Moshe Rabbeinu's question is, how is it possible that a Jew should give a coin and that's going to redeem his soul? And not only that, but the Rambam writes that what would be if a Jew did not want to give a half a shekel? And they collected it from him by force. The Bet Din said you have to give, and he was not interested in giving, and he gave it anyway. And the halacha is, the Jewish law is, that his soul gets redeemed. So Moshe Rabbeinu was wondering, how is it a Jew does not want to give it, they forced him to give it, and his soul gets redeemed? So God responded and he said, Zeh, you see this? This half a shekel, that's a shekel comes from the word of mishkal, it's heavy. Yeah, it was heavy, he didn't want to give it, but guess what? It's a shekel of fire. Why is it a shekel of fire? Why is it on fire even though it's weighty because he didn't want to give it? Because the Jew, every single Jew has a soul, and every Jew has an essence of a soul, and the essence of every single Jewish soul is that it's connected to God and wants to be connected to God and wants to do what God wants. So even though maybe externally he's not inspired, but internally every Jew is inspired. And as long as he gives, he is plugged in and he's connected. So to answer the question, should a person do a mitzvah even though you're not inspired? Absolutely. Because you might not be inspired externally, but internally you're inspired, and meanwhile you're connected. This week's Torah lesson is dedicated to the memory of Baruch ben Aryeh Leib and Shlomo Ben Yosef. May their souls be elevated for the Torah that we're studying in their memory. Thanks so much for joining us for our weekly Torah lesson. Please join us for live classes here at Chabad. Thursday from 12:30 to 2 we have a Parsha class. Shabbat morning from 9 to 10 we have a Kabbalah class based on the teachings of the Rebbe, followed by services and a Kiddush and a Farbrengen. Shavua Tov and have a great week.